My camera's a little dusty. Just shows how long it's been since I've last used it. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Allie, and listen, this is a hot mess video already, so welcome back. Please ignore the background noise. My dog has decided that she wants to play with her toy, and very rare. The occasion is very rare for when she plays with her toys. So you know what? We're just gonna let her. As you can tell from the title of this video, I am gonna be talking about books. Now, let me start off by saying this was my absolute favorite read, favorite book, broke me to pieces, will be rereading very soon when I find some time, because it's been some months since I've last read this beautiful story, and if you have not read it, I highly recommend. Obviously, this is my opinion. I know other people who have read it have raved about this. It's had some good feedback, good reads, stuff like that. So jump on board with this. Now, I also, when I first read this book, I did make a video talking about it, reviewing it, but I didn't like the outcome when I started editing it, and since then, I just never reshot it. Time has passed, you know how things go. But here we are. I do want to get to this very soon. What I might end up doing is do a reread, so I'm very fresh and updated, and then do that so that I could talk about it, because I do love this book so much that I do want to make its own video for this channel. So stay tuned for that. And also because it got picked up by Freeform, and it's going to be a series there. Eileen and I almost said Bette Porter. Eileen Chakin, C-H-A-K-I-N, the creator of The L Word, and Jennifer Beals are going to be executive producing it and stuff like that. Lots of good stuff there. Trust them. So I'm hoping it turns out well, but we will see. I know it's going to be a hot second before it is going to be on TV. So in the meantime, you have the book. Get into that. I also want to do a quick disclaimer that I only have like 9 out of the 12 that I read, because I borrowed some and also had some rented from the library, so I don't actually have them. So those I'll just show on my Goodreads account, which you can follow using that information there, wherever I decide to put it in post edit. So just follow me to stay updated with whatever I'm reading. To give some order to this video, I'm going to be talking about the books in order that I read them. So let's start with, oh yikes, let's go backwards because I don't have the first book. So the book that I read for December, well, I read a lot for December, but the last book that I ended with 2019, I don't even think I talked about it. Anyways, these are the 12 books that I read for 2019 that I want to share with you guys, so that you guys know what I read. Also because I want to start doing more booky stuff, because this is what I'm currently diving into, along with TV stuff, movies, whatever. We're just going to mix it up on this channel. So these are my 12 books that I read in 2019. Here we go. The last book, the 12th book I read, was actually a play. A Streetcar Named Desire. Love this play so much. It was actually on stage in New York with Gillian Anderson. Google her. And I got to see her, and here are my tickets that I would show, but it has my name on it. Now that I've read it fully, because at one point I did pick it up and I got about like halfway, 3/4 of a quarter, and then I stopped and I don't know what happened. Life. But I finally finished it, and this was the last book because I had like 2 days to read a book to complete my 12, and I just wanted a quick read, and I think I finished this in a day. Rereading the text, honestly, I was like a little sad on the outcome that happens with Miss Blanche, and if you haven't read it, you know, quick summarize it. It's very good. And if you're able to find some illegal links, not that I'm supporting that, but watch the Gillian Anderson stage adaptation. It's beautiful. She does amazing. The 11th book that I read was called The Hours. This one I was familiar with as well because I had seen the movie that's like Meryl Streep, Nicole Kidman, and Julianne Moore. Sweetie, I'm so sorry. So I was familiar with the storyline through the movie adaptation, but reading it, I don't know if the film did this. I'm pretty sure it did, but it'd been a long while since I'd actually watched the movie. So reading this was very fresh for me. And the connection in the last chapter, spoiler alert if you haven't read it, but the fact that Julianne was the mom of Meryl Streep's character. And anyways, this whole thing just, it honestly made me want to read Virginia Woolf's story, Mrs. Dalloway. But I have so many other books to get through that it's on a one-day list. But this book was really good, really sad, and just the different lives within the different time spaces of the women was just, in the end, seeing them all kind of thread together. It was well written, and I probably should watch the movie soon, but you know how things go. 10th book, I already lost count. The 10th book was Where'd You Go, Bernadette? Again, saw the movie adaptation with Cate Blanchett. I am forgetting all these people's names. I'm so sorry, y'all. I saw the film over the summer and I really enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed the way that Cate portrayed Bernadette. I think I'd seen the trailer to the movie when I went in, and I was still kind of unfamiliar about the premise of the movie, but upon seeing it, fantastic movie, which is why I was like, I want to read this. And it just gave more in depth. The movie, obviously you see the perspective of both Cate and the daughter, but in the book it's only the daughter, so like the ending is very different from what we see. Again, things obviously will be different. So I quite enjoyed being only able to see and read what the daughter was going through, as opposed to like fully understanding the whole situation that was given to us like on screen. My 9th read was Homework by the beautiful and wonderful and talented Julie Andrews. She is such a childhood nostalgia for me that probably doesn't make any sense. Growing up, my grandma introduced me to The Sound of Music, and I kid you not, she had it in VHS. She introduced me to that movie, and every time, this was like pre going into school, or like during summer, like, point is, I watched that film every day. That I can't remember if the VHS that she had broke and we didn't, like, the tape just busted and we didn't get another one, or it just got lost. Like, I'm sure grandma just put it up because she's like, I'm over this girl trying to watch this movie every day. Anyway, so the premise of this one, wow, I didn't even say the premise of this one. Wow, I didn't even say the premise of The Streetcar Named Desire. Premise of this one is Bernadette literally goes missing, but it deals with the daughter trying to understand leading up to the events and like why she would do it, and it's like a whole family drama. I'm explaining it wrong because now I'm only thinking about this one, but Bernadette goes missing. There's a whole bunch of events that basically have her just bust and like piece out of her home style life, and everyone's like, where'd she go? And the dad's like, let her go, but the daughter's like, no, like, she's my best friend, you don't understand, she wouldn't just say bye. And they do find her at the end. Plot twist. Spoiler alert. Homework is the Hollywood life of Julie Andrews, essentially how she came to Hollywood, starting out as a young girl, going on tour as a young girl, getting her first lead on Broadway, going through Broadway, getting her first movie through Mary Poppins, the aftermath of that, all the effects of that, her husbands, her children, and it is definitely a lot of information in this book that I did not know. Like I said, I grew up watching The Sound of Music, so being able to get to see this side and getting to know more about her life, obviously it's so weird because my brain for her, like my space in my mind and heart for her, go Sound of Music to Princess Diaries, because I mean, obviously I was very young. I mean, I wasn't born when Sound of Music happened. Having that film come into my life, I was still very young. Point is, obviously it'd been a while. I think Julie had already been done maybe with films. I'm not sure at this point. Yeah, Princess Diaries, Sound of Music, that's like There's no in between. So this was very eye-opening. I really enjoyed getting to see her talk about all of that, and also all the behind the scenes stuff of like how hard she was working, trying to balance her love life, her children's life, and just the tolls that it took on her and the tolls that it was taking on her family. The 8th book that I read was called Waiting for Tom Hanks. Now this one came as a recommendation. Saw this and I was like, oh, I love Tom Hanks. And the girl was like, me too. She explained a little bit about how it was this girl and she's like a big rom-com person and she loved Tom Hanks. I think she like spoke a little bit about it, but the fact that it had the Tom Hanks in the title just kind of like intrigued me. And when I went to go and see the summary for this book, I was like, I am in it. Let me just read you the summary that's on the back. Annie Cassidy dreams of being the next Nora Ephron. She spends her days writing screenplays, rewatching Sleepless in Seattle, and waiting for her movie perfect meet cute. Me, Af. If she could just find her own Tom Hanks, a man who's sweet, sensitive, and possibly owns a houseboat, her problems would disappear and her life would be perfect, but Tom Hanks is nowhere in sight. There's another half, but that's basically it. You guys get it. Love rom-coms, waiting for her Tom Hanks. And I was just raptured because I love Nora Ephron movies. One of my favorites is You've Got Mail with Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan. So this was a very cute, very cheesy rom-com book. Yeah, I highly recommend. This was very cute. This was on a whim, not at all planned to read, but I did and it was very cute. I enjoyed that. The 7th book that I read was called Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine. This one was honestly like a diamond in the mud because I had gone to Goodwill just to browse and I was like, let me just look at their books. I don't need to buy any, but let's look. And I paid a quarter for this. A quarter for this like $8 book that's in the store. I don't even know. The back of this is $16. Okay, I bought it and loved it. This is about Eleanor. She's very to herself until she meets this guy at work and he kind of brings her out of her shell, but she's still very hesitant. She's like, this guy's weird, and she judges him and she judges people around her. But then she starts crushing on this musician and she tries to better herself essentially, and that also makes her break out of her shell. Then it just kind of crashes down. But I quite enjoyed this one. This one I did hear that Reese Witherspoon's production company was picking up for a movie, I think. When I last googled this, they were still trying to find somebody, I think, to produce it. Things were ready, it just needed to have the next step to be pushed forward. So this is still on the line to be turned onto film, but I'm really excited about it. And I really love the fact because it's like UK based. She's talking like things that are like British slang, stuff like that, and that was very cool. My favorite book. The 5th book that I read was called The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, the most beautiful book that there ever existed. I honestly have word vomit and I can't shut up, and I recommend this to people. And honestly, there was like a good like maybe like 2 or 3 week span where I was talking about this book in some little way every freaking day. I'm surprised no one was like, enough, Allie, like shut up. I really want to read the back to this, but I feel like it would give too much away. Whatever, we're reading it. Reclusive Hollywood icon Evelyn Hugo is finally ready to tell the truth about her glamorous and scandalous life. But when she chooses unknown magazine reporter Monique Grant to write her story, no one is more astounded than Monique herself. Determined to use this opportunity to jumpstart her career, Monique listens in fascination. From making her way to Los Angeles in the 1950s to leaving show business in the 80s, and of course the 7 husbands along the way, Evelyn unspools a tale of ruthless ambition, unexpected friendship, and great forbidden love. But as Evelyn's story nears its conclusion, it becomes clear that her life intersects with Monique's own in tragic and irreversible ways. Wow. Okay, first I just want to note, because I read it back here, it talked about old Hollywood. Okay, I love TV, I love movies so much. And there's a thing in here that I want to say that spoils. So to have these two things very mixed in, she's an actress, she's up and coming, like it read. The fact that I think that was one of my favorite bits, like second to like the main thing that is Evelyn. The fact that it talked about old Hollywood and just the way media was portrayed and essentially like paid and fixed and how things were. I loved that. I know it's fiction, but I think she did a really good job in writing the way that things were then. God, gosh, I don't even know what more to say. Evelyn, honey, I love you so much. I hope you're doing well wherever you are. I don't want to spoil anything. The following book is called The Arrangement. This one I checked out from the library. This one is about a couple. They decide to have an open marriage at one point because they've been together for so long. Yeah, they decide to have an open marriage. The wife starts seeing somebody, and it's, at first it takes her a minute, but then she finds her groove, and it's very easy and not complicated, as opposed to the husband who jumps into something really fast and it becomes sticky and messy and kind of messes up a lot of things. I gave this one about a 3 on Goodreads, although I think maybe it was a 3.5. It was okay. I think the summary of it was very like ooh, but then upon reading it and the way that it ended, I wasn't really happy with the ending. You know, we read it, it's over with. That one I feel like you could read it, but I would not read again. So the next 3, so 4, 3, and 2 are part of a series. And I only have the first one, but it was To All the Boys I've Loved Before series by Jenny Han. In case you're unfamiliar, this is a Netflix movie, To All the Boys I've Loved Before, and that's how I came about it first. Loved the movie. It's so cute. Anything, like, just everything I think I wanted, maybe not everything I wanted in high school, because the premise is fake dating and then falling in love, but yeah. It's very cute. I had watched the movie before reading this, but upon hearing that they were starting to film the 2nd and 3rd movies, that's when I kicked in and started reading the series. And I really enjoyed it. There are more things in the book from just the first one. Like, we find out the way that her mom dies, and the second one, the way that it ends here is not the way that it ends in the book, so I'm wondering how they're gonna play that off. I already forgot what happened in the 2nd and 3rd books, so that's just gonna be great. Are we gonna reread it? No, but I know I read them and I know the basics. The second one, so the first one, obviously she meets, they fake date, they really fall in love, and then they're dating. In the second one, they're dating, they start having complications, her UN crush is in the picture, they are starting to hang out, and then her and Peter break up. In the third one, they get back together, but they're about to go off to college and they're having a lot of complications, and I cannot even tell you how it ends, but I don't think it ends. I think it does end kind of okay. I don't know. I'm definitely gonna have to summarize or read a summary. But yeah, I quite enjoyed this series. It's very cute, very high school-y, and I don't know, I really liked the characters, so I think that's why I really liked the series, because I could just see them in my head. Yeah, I recommend this to anyone who wants a cute little series. Now the last but first book that I read of 2019, it was called Something Borrowed by Emily Giffin. I almost said Griffith. That doesn't sound right. I thought it was Griffin. This one as well, I feel like you could catch on to a pattern. I had seen the movie before reading the book, and they had started playing it more frequently on TV. So I was like, hey, I think I need to dive into this because I want to know more about the characters. And I was just curious to see if there was more in the book than what they had on screen. And it was about the same, maybe more cheating wise. That's all I'm gonna give away. And I don't know, the main character, I think her name is Rachel, it's been so long, she is more like no fucks given, I think, towards the end of it, and she like really doesn't care. And her best friend, I think, is maybe a little more ruthless in the fact that she's more like, look at me, attention seeking, very commanding, demanding, maybe. It's been so long. I gave this a 3, which I don't know, I think I just enjoyed the movie more, and I think that's what might have killed it. But I didn't hate the book, but I definitely did not go on to read the Darcy part of it because I found Darcy really annoying. The characters I think were a lot harsher in the book, maybe. But that is my summary of books of 2019. I will be doing a 2020, hopefully. I'm gonna get through them. Like I said, follow me on Goodreads to keep up with all that stuff if you want to. I've also made a letterbox, 84 years, but you know, your girl has finally made one because I do have a movie subscription that I'm going to regularly, so I'm keeping up with what I'm watching movie wise, like in the theater. Follow me on there to keep up with all that jazz. Did you read any of these books? Are you interested in any of these books? What are you currently reading? I just finished Little Fires Everywhere, and that too is going to be a series on Hulu coming out in March with Reese Witherspoon and Kerry Washington. I'm very excited. That one I did save though, not to watch the trailer for any spoilers, but there weren't really any spoilers. And I just started The Dutch House by Ann Patchett, and that one, honestly, within the first chapter I was very intrigued on what exactly is going to be told. Yeah, that is it for my 12 books. There's so much I want to do. I'm blabbering now, but I want to continue doing reviews for TVs. I want to do another music. That doesn't make sense. There's so much I want to do, guys, but you know, oh my gosh. I just feel like there's not enough time in a day. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. And honestly, I hope at least one person watches this and is like, yeah, girl, I read some of those books. Leave a comment, give this video a like. I appreciate every one of you who watched this. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Bye. On some nights like this, I just wanna text you, but for what? You won't say you want me, then go switch it up.